we have Benji calling in from Alabama. Benji, you're live on Talk Heathen. What's going on?
Hey, so I thought I was going to point out the problems where God could do anything because he's God, but I think I might try to make the case for that. That might be a little more interesting. So if you don't mind, what is the problems that y'all have, and I can kind of go from there, that y'all have with the idea that God is God so he can do whatever he wants?
I mean, I have to know that God's real first.
That's
right?
That's the problem.
Yeah, I think that's it. Because like I don't even know if there is a God that's real. I don't know his properties. I don't know what he does, what he can't do, or can't do. Right? But like, I have to even know that there is a God first before I can even get into the minutia of that.
For the sake of argument here, I mean, let's just go with the Tristan God for the sake of argument. Let's say that the Tristan God is will. What then would be the argument against a deity, a God, to do whatever because they are a God? I mean, if they have the ability to bend space-time and reality itself, I mean, obviously they'd be able to do whatever then at that point.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I guess I agree with you. I don't know, Kelly, maybe you have a different take, but it's like, yeah, if he's a God, he's a God. I don't know what I can or can't. I don't know if logic is gonna. I can't be like, oh, he can't logic. Maybe I could say there'd be some things that don't logically make sense, but maybe God is illogical, right? Maybe
Are we talking about the ability to do anything or the morality to do it of doing anything?
Right. That's a key point too, because a lot of times when atheists are criticizing God's like abilities or things he does, it's more so the reasons why than like whether he can or can't. I think that's a good point.
Yeah. Well, I was going to go into the morality side of it too, but I mean, for the sake of argument, let's just say God is infinitely powerful, minus the obvious contradictions, making a watch so heavy that he can't lift it type crap.
Okay.
Limited power, as powerful as logically possible. Okay. A lot of the objections that y'all do bring up, and this has been done by everyone from Matt Dillahunty to a whole bunch of y'all that I've seen on video, is the moral objections that, some of the stuff that God does is wrong because you look at it as wrong, that you recognize in your human perception that it's wrong. But to a God, I mean, let me just take the flood, for example. Like, if a God was able to make you out of nothing, out of dirt or clay or whatever you want to call it, and he flooded the world and destroyed all life to start over, if he's able to start over, then it's kind of irrelevant, isn't it? I mean,
it's not if you care about like people. It's not if you care about like, the well-being of others, right? Because it is doing a harm. Right. You could say whether he's justified in doing it or not is a separate argument, but you can't deny the fact that it is harming people. Right.
Yeah. I mean, do you have family, Benji?
Huh?
Do you have family you care about?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, most.
Okay. Well, would you want to watch them get drowned for no reason of their own? For no, it wasn't their fault they got drowned. They were good people, right?
Right. Yeah. If God like just flooded your family right now, you wouldn't have anything to say about it. You'd be like, well, I guess he's God, so whatever. Right.
Do you think that do you think that's acceptable that people can just kill your family for no reason, or for a reason that has nothing to do with your family?
I wouldn't say that.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about. That's what happened, right? If you believe the flood narrative to be literally true, right?
And you look at all the toddlers that were drowned that day, right? They didn't do anything wrong. They were just they were 2-3 years old or younger.
Right.
Well, what I was going with was the flood example, because that's the best one that I can use that, kind of compare contrast here to the human waste. So if a God is able to create and destroy, I mean, really, if he created stuff, why couldn't he destroy it?
Yeah, you're just saying might makes right. That's all you're saying here.
Wait, I have an answer to that. I have an answer to that.
Go ahead, Kelly.
I created my son. Does that mean I have the right to kill him?
Well, no, because
okay, then. So there's your answer, Benji. You just gave yourself the answer. Why is it all right for God to do it if it's not all right for me to do it?
Because he can just make another one out of nothing. That's why.
That doesn't.
I could do the same thing. I could go make
it?
another kid too.
Yeah.
If God would dread making humanity, which is what the Bible actually says, a lot of people don't realize that, but God would dreaded making humanity the first time because it screwed up everything, and everything was screwed up, and so he drowned the world.
So God's not perfect.
Yeah. So again, the argument, the onus of the claim is on you, Benji. You have to justify whether this is okay for God to do. Just because God has the ability to do, we recognize that, right? Within the narrative, he obviously can do it because he did it within the narrative, right? The argument isn't, just because he can means that he should, right? Because God can do a lot of things. God could also not kill people. God could also obviously save people through the redemption of, his son, right? So there's other ways those people could have been redeemed, clearly, if Jesus can die for people's sins. But instead, he decided to kill people, right? So the question is, was that a good thing or not, right? The atheist would say no, especially if there's other options that are available to people.
Well, a few things. One, what humans consider moral is their opinion, and it's completely irrelevant to a God, any God. Second, I don't believe that Jesus died for sins. I think Jesus was slaughtered by the Romans and the people of Israel or Jerusalem at the time, and I don't think he needed to die anyway, because the whole idea of sacrificial atonement for sins is stupid in the first place.
Okay, so why did God need to kill those people? Why was it okay for him to do that? Just because he can?
When he flooded, are you asking why did he flood the earth?
Yeah, I'm asking why is it okay for him to do that? I understand why he did it. He was pissed, but just because you're pissed doesn't mean you have the right to do anything you want, right? So why was it it's never been clear to me why this is suddenly okay for him to murder people and then be like, oh, I'm never going to do this again, right? Why did you do it in the first place if it was so terrible?
God is able to address things too. I mean, that's the reason he did that. He dreaded making the human ways the way that he did, and he started from scratch. And in order to start from scratch, you have to destroy what's there to build again. You can't build a building on top of another building.
But he obviously doesn't. Again,
actually,
we've already he doesn't have to. He's God. You're saying there's no other things he could have done besides killing people?
Yeah, and you can build a city on top of another city. Look at Troy. Troy was like 12 layers of cities built one on top of another. So you're just wrong in that one. And let me say something to you before about another one of the things you said about morals, that we can't that we don't have, that God doesn't have the same morals as human beings. Well, if a God doesn't have good morals, why should he be worshipped? What would be the purpose of worshiping a God that has bad morals?
Yeah.
He's not setting an example for good behavior. He's not, if you worship him, you're not guaranteed that he's not going to just turn around and kill you because he has bad morals.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the morality of a God, I think, is pretty important if you're going to worship it.
Yeah, you're arguing that a human's morality isn't relevant to God. Okay, why is God's morality relevant to me then? Right? It goes both ways.
Well, it's not. His morality is not dependent on you at all. I mean, God could slaughter all of you and not give a damn.
That's what makes it so terrible. I think a morality that doesn't value the like lived experiences of people, or the lived experience of any sentient being for that matter, is a bad morality. It's not good. What's the point of morality then if you can just hurt and harm whoever you want? It doesn't make sense.
Well, I think morals are subjective anyway. There's not an absolute morality. There's no such thing as that.
Well, we're on the same page there.
Every nation in the world has different moralities. Every person has a different morality. It's all subjective. It's opinion. But when it comes to a God, something that is timeless and boundless and can be in multiple places and dimensions at once, and is literally, for the sake of argument here, all-powerful, at least logically powerful, and could destroy the world and control the weather and destroy buildings and everything else. Like, if the human race makes God angry, Is it wrong for God to punish the human race because the human race isn't doing what God wanted them to do in the first?
Right. But okay, so the God of the universe who could do all these things, who has all this great power, and who's beyond everyone else, his best solution was to kill everyone in a flood. How does that make him better than people? Seriously.
Especially when he could have just made humans do whatever he wanted humans to do.
Yeah.
But he didn't want that. That's all.
Because killing everybody was better. Do you understand what our problem is here, Benji?
Yeah.
We are saying it was better to leave people alive and teach them a different way than it is to kill them all. And it seems like that you think that's okay to just kill people instead of re-educating them.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Do you think if God rounded up particular people he didn't like into gas chambers, do you think that would be okay too? How is that different from flooding the earth and killing millions of people that way?
Well, I'm not. Well, okay. So you're comparing flooding the earth to genocide.
Yes, it is. No, it's literally genocide.
It was genocide.
You need to understand. It was a genocide, right?
By definition, the flood was genocide.
Wait. So let's back up here. So let me ask you this: even a God. Right.
No, let me ask you this. What makes God better than Hitler? Because at least Hitler didn't kill everybody. He only killed a certain group of people. God made no nonsense of it. He was like, I don't care if you're 1 year old or 50 years old, you're going to die the same way. How does that make him better? Seriously.
Are you seriously comparing a God to Hitler, man? Come on.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
How is he better?
Yeah.
How in the hell is that a true dichotomy, man? Come on.
Because God killed toddlers and babies. God killed literally everybody.
Because God killed a bunch of people and Hitler killed a bunch of people. Yeah, that's how we can make the comparison, Benji. And if you can't understand that, and you're going to sit and laugh at an actual logical comparison, I'm not sure that you're ready for this conversation.
It's not a logical comparison. That's the issue.
You know what, Benji? Because you don't have the ability to understand the illogical connection. Does not make it that there is no logical connection there.
Benji, you go back in time and
understand it.
You go back in time. You'd look those 5-year-olds that were about to die in the flood in the eye and say, "This is right. Actually, this is good. God deserves to do this because He's God." You'd say that.
Okay. I'm going to prove a point here. Was Hitler a god? He wasn't.
Why does that matter?
What does that have to do with it?
Because they're not on the same footing. For one.
So if Hitler was God, it would be okay.
Benji,
wait, hold on.
Benji,
you're saying if Hitler was God, it's fine. They killed people. Is that what you're saying?
Stop. We're not claiming Hitler was God. We're not claiming that Hitler was on the same level as God.
Yeah.
What we are saying is God killed a bunch of people. Hitler killed a bunch of people. In that respect, they are the same.
Right.
Do you understand that in this limited circumstance, they are the same? Do you fucking understand that?
That's the only similarity.
I mean, it's not a good similarity. Do you understand that? It's not something you want to be similar to.
Well, no, I'm saying, the only similarity that you're really pointing out is that they both slaughtered people. I can agree with you.
Yes, that was the point.
Yes, that is literally the point we're trying to make.
Wow. Like I said, your inability to understand the connection.
Let him speak. Let's hear this.
So,
go ahead.
Hitler, okay, so there's different reasons why that happened, though. Narcissist, hated dude.
Okay.
His mother was.
So hold on. So if you have good enough reason, it's good enough to kill millions of people. That's what you're saying.
Let's make an example. I forget the phrase exactly. Does the reason outweigh the means, or whatever the hell that phrase is? If you have a situation where a group of people could poison the entire world, is it better for those people to die or everyone to die?
What? Wait, no, the toddlers and the babies that were killed in the flood did not have the capacity to kill millions of people. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and it's better for nobody to die.
Also, Jewish people didn't either? Wait, I'm confused. Who is this even for, what this metaphor is?
Well, no, but I'm saying if there's no option for no one to die, and either way someone would die, is it better for less people to die or more?
No, but that's the thing. Nobody had to die. Why did anybody have to die in the flood narrative? Why couldn't people? Obviously, God has chosen people to be redeemed in other ways, right? The Jewish people were redeemed for their stuff all the time.
Look at Paul.
But that crap didn't happen.
Look at Paul. He got redeemed by a vision. Why couldn't God just give everybody a vision and redeem everyone instead of killing everybody?
Why did he have to kill everybody?
It wasn't a vision. He went blind. It wasn't a vision. He just went blind.
Okay, and guess what? Paul became one of the most influential Christians in the history of Christianity. So why couldn't that happen
God
with
just
other
make
people?
everybody blind for a second? You're missing the point here, Benji.
Yeah.
God, let me talk for a minute, Benji. God could have done things to people like he did with Saul, Paul, to make them be better. He did not have to kill everyone. We know that God could change people's minds. It's in the Bible, the Bible that you believe in. So if you believe the Bible is correct, you have to know that these minds could have been changed. But instead, God chose to kill them. Instead of saving them, he killed them. Do you understand this, Benji?
Listen, no, I do. So your position is that with sufficient interaction, that anyone's mind can be changed. Is that what you're saying?
If you're a God,
if you're a God, why not? What is stopping you?
You're a God, Benji. Yes, he could change people's minds. He has. I just gave you the most common example, well-known example with the Saul Paul.
Paul participated in the murders of Christians, if you recall. It's recalled that he took the coats of those who stoned Christians to death, right? So he wasn't exactly innocent himself.
Well, no one was back then, really. I mean, but also I want to bring up an interesting point.
Was Jesus?
Of course, you want to bring up something else instead of actually addressing literally anything that we're talking about.
Adding on to something here, you said with sufficient interaction from a God, it would change anyone's mind. But that was part of the problem. You know, the reason that God stepped away in the first place after the flood is because the whole reason that the world got that way was because he intervened too much.
Benji, can I stop you for 1 second? I want you to think about what you're doing. You realize that you are making excuses for the murder of millions of people, right? That's what you're doing. You are sitting here telling us why it was okay to murder millions of people. You realize that, right?
The population wasn't millions of people.
No, Benji, wait, stop.
Even if it wasn't millions of people.
Yes or no question. You realize you are making excuses for the murder of millions of people right now, right?
I realize that that's what it seems like to some people listening.
Yes,
but it's
definitely.
Not.
Yeah, but you can't admit it to yourself that that's what you're doing, can you?
I
understand that I'm explaining the reasons why that happened. It doesn't mean I agree with it, but I do think that God is God. So I mean,
Benji, if you don't agree with it,
you're basically saying might makes right, so it doesn't matter what people think. So morality is just whatever God says he wants it to be. That's not an objective system of morality. In fact, that's the most subjective you could possibly be.
And Benji, if you don't agree with it, why are you defending it?
Yeah.
Huh?
If you don't agree with it, why are you defending it?
Well, I'm trying to explain, number one, why it happened, which the Bible says why it happened. Number two, that your morality as a human being is completely irrelevant to any God, not even this Christian God, Elohim, or any.
But apparently,
irrelevant.
That didn't address my question.
Yeah.
But
I asked you if you didn't believe it, why are you defending it?
Right.
What is it within your morality that compels you to defend this murder of millions of people if you don't agree with it?
Well, no, what I'm saying is with your morality, the way that you look at stuff, your perception as a human.
I'm not asking. I didn't ask you about my morality. I asked you about yours.
My morality.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Simple question. Was it a good thing that God did this? Yes or no?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Well, God flooding the earth, right? I'm assuming you believe that this was an event that happened in history. Was this a good thing that God did? Yes or no?
At the time that, well, to God, yes. To the humans, no.
What do you think, Benji?
Yeah, what do you think?
What I think is that it might have been necessary at the time.
Benji, it's like a yes or no. You agree with it? Yes or no? Do you agree with it? Yes or no?
Well, the way society.
Yes or no, Benji?
I think it might have.
Yes or no, Benji?
You're getting Cali spicy here.
I said no.
All right then. So why are you trying to explain to us that it was all right?
Yeah.
Because y'all always have an objection to stuff God does, but you don't take into account that He is a God. He's not a.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay. God's God, so that means killing millions of people is okay.
So you agree that it was okay because He's God
somehow? Yeah.
I didn't say that. I didn't say God's God, so He can do whatever. I didn't mean it that way.
So why do you care?
So what do you mean? Hold on, wait. What do you mean?
Go ahead.
God, by definition, is not a human being. Can you make stuff out of nothing? Can you make stuff?
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that God's not a human being. That's fine. Whatever. Why does that mean He can do whatever He wants? Why does that make Him morally justified?
Well, I mean, let me ask you this: is there a point to objecting to it if there's nothing you can do about it?
Okay, that's not the question, though. Why does that make God morally justified?
Right. Why won't you answer that? I mean, you're
because we're still waiting for you to answer our question.
First of all, I don't. You need to understand. I don't believe in God. Okay, this doesn't matter to me. We're just talking about something that doesn't exist. But to the Christian, right? The Christian does believe that God exists and that God has done things in history. So if that's true, then He is subject to human judgment. Whether or not human judgment is, meaningful in any sense, that's another story. But if you do believe in a thing called objective morality, then you do believe in the standards, right? And God can either meet those standards or not meet those standards. And I would argue that even if you believe in objective morality, God has no real bearing on or accountability for His own actions. He doesn't meet that standard. He doesn't meet any meaningful standard of objective morality that we could possibly understand. And so the whole project of God defining morality just kind of fails because it just falls down to He can do whatever He wants, which isn't objective.
So for starters, well, I don't believe in objective morality at all. I don't even think there is such a thing.
Okay.
What I was making a point to is I understand you don't believe in God, and that's fine. The thing that I was saying is that, and I was trying to make this point, is that God is not a human being. You were literally, and
we know this. We've established this.
We know that. We agreed to that. We're fine with that. You don't have to make that point again.
He is subject to human judgment or human morals, is what you said. You said that he's subject to human morals.
Well, he's going to be judged either way, but he doesn't even meet objective morality. That's my point as well. There's nothing objective about his actions here that makes reasonable sense.
Subjective. I believe in subjective morality. I don't believe in.
That's fine, but God still did a thing. Okay, He still killed lots of people. The question we are debating right now is whether or not that was justified in any sense of morality, right? Like in any, whether it's a local subjective sense or an objective sense, it's not justified. That's the point.
Well, I mean, it is justified because he had a reason for doing it.
So you are
just because you have a reason to do something doesn't make something justified.
If it's a good reason, it does. I mean,
you know what? Why?
What is the good reason?
What was the good reason?
Well, I mean, it says it in Genesis that the earth was, corrupted and everything else. I mean,
so why couldn't he just uncorrupt it?
Yeah.
Why couldn't he just uncorrupt it? Like we just went in a circle, Benji.
Yes.
Why couldn't he just given him the Saul revelation and corrected it.
Yeah. And there's other people that have been redeemed.
You can't have good without evil.
That made no sense in any way, shape, or form as an answer to my question.
Yeah, that doesn't answer anything.
Yes, it does.
No, Benji, I'm going to ask again, and I'll ask real slow, okay? Benji, listen to me. Why did God have to kill people instead of changing their minds or their personality like we know that he can, as he did with Saul? Why did he have to kill everyone instead? That's my question.
Well, because he did not want everyone to just be subservient to him all the time and not have free will.
They didn't have to be. They could
How can they express their free will if they're dead, Benji? Explain that one to me.
Yeah, how do you do that?
How does that work? Oh, wait. Oh, man, I can't brainwash these people. They need to express their free will. Let's just kill them instead. Yeah, that makes sense. Tell me about that one, Benji.
Well, I mean, you have a soul. I know you don't believe it, but people do have souls.
Okay. How are they going to express their free will if they have no body in which to express it because it's floating in a giant body of water?
Well, actually, I would say that, I believe in limbo and stuff anyway, but let's just say the example of heaven. If you die and your soul goes to heaven, you still have a soul. You can still move around, so you still have free will. It's not like when you die and go to heaven, you can't damn move. You got to go through the gate. I mean,
okay, so they can express their free will in heaven. It's what you're saying. Well, when I killed my wife, I was letting her express her free will in heaven. That was it. Judge, please. I wasn't. Listen, she was making me mad, so I had a reason to kill her, right, Judge? And so I wasn't violating her free will. She just gets to express it in heaven. Do you think that would hold up a court of law?
Wasn't that defense kind of used with a mother and her children?
I don't know, probably.
That drowned her children. She wanted them to go to heaven so they'd have a better life. I mean, that's the same thing, right?
Yeah, that's literally the same thing.
There was a woman who drowned 3 of her children because she thought they would go to heaven and have a better life. So isn't that basically, was that okay for her to do that? Since it was basically the same thing God did, right?
I think that the human race has a different mindset than
Do you think it was all right for her to do that since God did it? I mean, that was God showing her that was moral and good. So
right.
She's a human. He's a God. There's a difference.
Dude, that's not what I asked, Benji. I'm asking if you think it was moral for the woman to do that when she learned that moral from God.
I think that if a God destroys the world, that there's a good reason behind it.
That didn't answer my question,
but the woman
Benji.
in Kelly's, you are really not listening because Kelly is saying the woman has a reason. And in fact, it is the same reason that you're saying that God has, which is that, oh, these children get to go to heaven. And you're saying, oh, well, these people can still express their free will in heaven, right? So she's acting on the same reasons as God. But you're saying that the woman is wrong, but God is still right. Why?
No, the reason I gave for God forming the earth is that the earth was corrupt and he had to start over. That was what I.
Yeah, well, this woman thought the same thing.
You're saying it's justified because he didn't want to act on their free will or whatever.
This woman had the same idea. She thought the world was so corrupt it was gonna be a bother it was gonna hurt her children, be a burden on them. So she sent them to heaven instead. She used the same excuse that God did here, Benji. Yeah. The same one.
How old was the children?
They were like between 2 and 4.
How old was the children?
Yeah, they were.
How the fuck does that matter?
All 4 and under. They were.
Please explain to me why the age of the child matters in the murder of them.
Yeah, it all depends on how you define a baby.
No, I'm saying. So if the children understood what was happening. And that they was going to die, and they went along with it, then how
none of the people in the flood went along with it. Why does that make it? You're bringing shit into it, Benji.
There's no world.
You are trying, Benji. You are trying so hard. You're trying so hard to say that your God wasn't wrong for killing children.
Yeah,
and it's hurting you. It's hurting your brain trying to think of a way that you could not say that.
There's no world in which the children are old enough to understand the situation in order for this to make this okay. All right. So, all right. I think we need to let you go. We have other callers that we want to talk to, and I think are going to listen to us a little bit better. But before we go, do you have anything else you want to tell us? Nope. Okay. I don't hear anything. I think, I don't know. Well, he says he's online. I'm dropping you out anyway. What a dumb conversation. Jesus. Oh, man. Yeah.
That would be great on a dodgeball team, huh?
Yeah, you seriously. So you know what's great is that Christians like Benji will say, we don't understand God's morality. Like God just works on a different thing, and we can't judge him by our standards. But really, I don't understand human morality, to be honest with you, sometimes, because we can justify the most terrible, awful bullshit if we truly think it's for a right and justice. A right and just cause, which is what Christians do when they talk about the flood as a real sort of historical event. Thankfully, it's not real. Right?
I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that. Honestly, what I was thinking here was Benji telling us we couldn't understand God's morality, and then trying to explain it to us.
Yeah. I don't know if Benji understands God's morality.
Well, yeah, humans can't understand. That's what he was saying. Humans can't understand God's morality, but here I'm going to teach you what it is, even though. Right. You're a human and you supposedly can't understand it either. So
humans can't understand it. All we know is that it's just somehow we know that, I guess. Yeah. But again, a lot of Christians get wrapped up in this because the point is not the criticism of God's morality. That honestly, at the end of the day, doesn't actually matter. The point is whether God is real or not, right? We can't we can debate the morality of it all day, but if we don't even think God is real, it's really pointless to atheists. So Christians get really tripped up on this whole conversation. It's more entertaining for us, to be honest with you, because obviously it's not just in any real concept of the word, but it is what it is.